Comp 15 titled Data Structures. Are you able to see the screen clearly?
Yes.
All right. So first is that we are going to meet every Wednesday at 6 p.m. sharp. And I expect everyone's attendance to be compulsory. Of course, it may happen that in due course of time, we may have a combination of synchronous and asynchronous sort of sharing of information. What I mean is that I may pre-record some videos and ask you to watch, and then the class can be more for discussion. But at least today, we will get started with a synchronous sort of setup. And therefore, I expect the attendance to be compulsory every Wednesday at 6 p.m. We have two TAs. There is Matthew, and we have Leon. Matthew, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Thanks, Partha. My name is Matt Russell. You can call me Matt or Matthew. Either is great. I'm a PhD student in the Human-Computer Interaction Lab, as is my fellow TA, Leon. So happy to talk with anyone about HCI if you're interested. Happy to be here, happy to be participating, and please feel free to ask questions at any time. Thanks.
Excellent. So you would be interacting with TAs quite a bit because this course is, I will say it upfront, it's not an easy course. And I'm sure an instructor can only do some justice. And then on top of that, you would require a good amount of interactions with the TAs as well as a part of office hours, and that will get communicated eventually. Like what could be a suitable arrangement for the office hours. I do have a course website, as I have announced before. Just let me walk you through. So most of the communication in this course will be through the website. So as you can see, I have already posted the schedule, and pretty much I gave a rough idea about what we are covering in each session. So if you go in individual date, you would be able to fetch that information. In terms of the overall curriculum, we will have labs and homeworks. And then there will be one midterm and one final exam. So I have already given the distribution of that. So every session, I will mostly cover about 1 hour, 45 minutes to 2 hours of lecture. And then that would be followed by, again, a good amount of 1 hour, 45 minutes time of lab work. And in the lab, you will get to practice whatever we are studying in the course. And there are going to be actually 9 labs. I'm going to post the 9th also eventually. And there will be 6 homeworks. Obviously, homeworks will be a little higher complexity than the labs. And all of these are actually sort of individual work. It's not a big team. So therefore, you would have to learn yourself. And of course, you can have discussion both through Piazza and other means. But one thing that I would highly recommend not to do is to share your code, because in the past, there had been some students attempting that, and then they suffered some consequence as a result of that. So I would like to remind you upfront that please refrain from sharing your code. You can definitely share ideas. You can even share some ideas in the pseudo code format, but no sharing of source code, please. Then, as I mentioned, that many of the discussions can also happen through Piazza, and Matt has already sort of set up the Piazza. As far as the assignment submissions, assignment meaning the labs and the homework submissions are concerned, they will be through provide system, and so there will be a combination of automatic grading as well as manual grading. And I will post the specific deadlines for the homework as they come. But for the labs, typically the deadline would be pretty much 1 week from now, just so that you have some room to finish up your lab. Uh, One thing that you can understand, that because once the course gets set in motion, then you will have lot of backlogs accumulated if you are postponing your lab work. So my recommendation would be try to get your lab done the same day. I have kept 1 week just as a buffer for convenience, but if you overuse that convenience, it can hurt you. There is also some material which will be posted, which will be password protected. And I already posted that the password would be comp15. And therefore, if you're not able to access some content through that password, that means I have not yet released that material. And my attempt would be to pretty much record every session, and I will also post the recordings just so that you are able to catch up in case because of some emergency situation you are not able to attend or not able to understand something in the class, so you can revisit that. Now, I don't want you to take advantage of this, that just because it is getting video recorded, you don't attend. And that's why there will be some percentage dedicated to the class participation. Therefore, my expectation would be that you would be attending in person. Um, and as far as the suggested readings are concerned, I have given some reference, but overall, I think you would be relying on the materials that are covered in the class than more than the books. So these books are, I would consider as more like recommendation, as a resource to have on the side, but not as a replacement for what you hear in the class. And I have listed some basic policies of academic integrity and those kind of things in detail um, in the notes here in the policy section. And even the date of midterm and final exam are already kind of decided. So you can also look into that. Yeah, I think that's about it overall in terms of what I wanted to cover in terms of logistics. Any questions so far? All right.
Oh, wait, I have a quick question.
Sure.
I don't know if you already mentioned this, but will you be posting the lecture slides before the class time?
As I said, like there could be some asynchronous sort of material that might get posted if I'm able to record the videos before. But in general, the notes will come after the lecture, not before. But
Okay, thank you.
what you would get hint for what we are going to cover is through the schedule. As I said, that I have already roughly posted what is going to be covered in the class. So if you want to prepare, you can use any books to cover those topics, and then probably it would be easier for you to follow during the class. Is that okay? All right.
I have a quick question about office hours. Is that scheduled already? Because I don't say it on the course website.
So as I said, there will be some posting going afterwards. The TAs will also mention what is their favored sort of timings. And from my side, I would just say that if you email me, we will try to schedule something out. I don't want to have a dedicated sort of time chalked out, but if you email me, we'll try to find some time that is mutually convenient. and then we will come over Zoom, and then we'll try to discuss. Is that okay?
Yeah, awesome. Thank you.
All right. Matthew, is there anything that you would like to add on top of what I shared?
Sure. I mean, at least regarding office hours, I think we'll probably plan to have at least 4 hours a week. But the thing I would really like to stress is the Piazza is a really great resource as well. The reason for that is because, you know, when you make a post, you can make it visible to all your classmates, and your classmates can help answer posts as well. And there can be discussion back and forth that everybody can see, which is very beneficial for the whole class. So that's another great resource that you can use too. And I'll be trying to check that, you know, as frequently as possible. I think in the past couple semesters, the average response time is somewhere in the order of 10 minutes, 15 minutes. So we can be very timely on Piazza, whereas office hours, obviously, it's one-on-one, which is great, but the time is going to be limited. So, but if I were to give any advice for the class, start assignments as early as possible and ask questions, as many questions as you can at the beginning. If you try, this is the kind of course where if you put off everything until the end, you will not do well. It's something that requires sort of consistent effort over time, and putting in the effort early to start is great. So that's my exhortation, and I'm sure you all do wonderfully. And yeah, that's it.